What's up, YouTube? Thrift Hunter here with this week's estate sale finds and flea market finds. Actually, most of this stuff this week is from dealers and from the flea market. A lot of this I bought at the flea market. The only piece that's here from an estate is actually this piece here. The estate sales have been pretty slow, really expensive, not a lot of good items, but the dealers, everybody's got a lot of inventory right now, it seems like. Everybody's trying to sell, so I've been working some deals with some people, just different friends of mine, different dealers that I know. Word is really getting around that I am the guy who buys a lot of the higher end designer stuff. For jewelry, when you just don't know what it is, I'm kind of the guy to go ask because I've almost seen it all. But this week, I'm just happy with every single piece I bought this week. Everything was expensive, so what you're looking at here was about $1,400, $1,400 or $1,500, somewhere in that range. So not a lot of items and a whole lot of money. But we'll get into it here right now and show you what I found, why I paid so much, and why I'm really happy with what I bought. Really hard to pick a favorite this week. There's so many cool pieces. We'll just start with something that's not jewelry here. And sorry about the lighting because, I really am working with what I got. But a sterling silver Mexico lift arm lighter. I've sold maybe 4 or 5 of these in the past, and they sell really fast. The sterling lighter people are all over it when a new lighter gets listed. But this was at the flea market, and the guy wanted $60, or 65, something like that, which I thought immediately already was a fair price. So I kind of wanted to shop around and see what else he had, since I already knew that this was a pretty good deal. These are generally $80 to $100 all day long, every day of the week. You can sell them very quickly at about $100. So I already knew that was a good deal. And then I saw this spoon here, and it just, again, one of those things that just jumped out at me. It just jumps off the table as being something totally different than what you're used to seeing. And so I, of course, always go straight for looking at markings. And this one is marked. It does have a date on it of 1991. And then it also has a signature, which is going to be really hard to show you. I don't think it's going to come up on the camera. Yeah, it's right here, but it just says I believe it's Marty Joe Cohen is the name of the designer, and then it says sterling silver, like really small, and engraved on there. And I looked up on my phone really quick, just Marty Joe Cohen, and saw some spoons. I saw one sold at like $200 and a couple listed around $200, and maybe like a plain one that wasn't as fancy for about $100. So I figured, this is pretty decent, and I asked how much for the both, and he said 160. And so he was like already saying, he's like, this is a special piece. He knew that he had something good, which is the case most of the time with the dealers. Is when they have something good, they know it's good, but they don't know really what it is, and they don't look it up. They don't sell online, so they just kind of put a high price on it. Is what I find. And so I thought, well, 160 is too much. 140. And he said 150. Of course, they try and get you in the middle, and I was just like, I'm like, I bought some stuff off of you last time. This is the same person I bought the sterling horse pendant and the little like Kachina dancer necklace, which I sold the necklace. Still have the horse piece, but I was like, can you do 140? He's like, all right, I'll take the 140, and so that's what we did. And this is a caviar spoon. I found out, I guess, the designer makes these really cool different spoons, and a lot of them are caviar spoons. So yeah, just a really interesting piece. I mean, you can show this to anyone, and everyone just kind of goes, "What is that?" Which is what I like about it. And there's some fancier ones, like different ones that she made in a sets. And this was the only one that looked like this that I saw. I wasn't sure, so it's got these spacers in here, a couple of spacers, but there's no spacers in between these pieces. So I don't know if there's spacers missing. I don't know how that would be possible, or if it's actually supposed to look just like that, lined up. So I'm not sure if that's supposed to move around as much as it does. I think so. I mean, I don't see any way that there would have been spacers in between there, but yeah, that's just a really interesting piece. So value-wise, on this, I'm hoping for about $200 on this piece, and then about $100 on this piece would be pretty good. So I really like this piece, really interesting. Couldn't find another one. Just the kind of stuff that, not jewelry, but it's just so dang neat that I had to pick it up. So I bought that one. And next we'll do this one. So I bought this, and this. This was, they were asking more individually. A lot of the times with these dealers, if you group stuff together, they will give you a better deal because you're buying more. I feel like if you ask for one piece, they give you a really high price. And a lot of times, it helps to, look at things, ask how much, and then if they give you too high of a price, kind of come back later at a couple hours later or an hour later or whatever, and then come back around again and just say, hey, I'm actually really serious about buying these. Can we do a better deal if I buy all three? And that was the case with this. I think he wanted 60, 30, and 65 or something like that. So he wanted 155, and I got him down to 120. So that's what I paid for these. Got a, they call these the Solje. I don't know if that's how it's probably not how you say it, but it's Solje pins. These dangle pins from Norway. This one does have a nice mark on the back, which is like a kind of a hammer mark, and 830S. And these are not worth that much. It really depends on the designer and how big they are. This would be kind of like a medium-sized one. They make some that are really, really big and ornate. But I've just wanted to buy one of these for a while because I know that they can sell for a lot of money. I saw completed listings of these all over the place, anywhere from $30 to $90. So I'll be okay with that one. This one is like an all-day kind of bread and butter piece for me. This is a Carolyn Pollock stone hot air balloon piece that I just think, you put maybe $40 on this, and I think it'll be pretty easy to sell. They might go for more. I haven't looked them up recently, but I've seen them before. And then this piece, the watch is busted, like the crystal on it, but I really just liked the design of this and the stones. Really good character on the stones, different alternating colors, and then you've got these kind of grandmothers, mother and grandmother with the little kids, and they're screaming with all the little kids. I don't know. I've seen these very similar ones, like a Carol Felly piece I saw that was similar to this. But this one looks a little bit older, and then it has hallmarks on it all across the back, and it's actually a cash symbol. So I'll look that up and see who made that. But not the greatest deal on this lot, but I liked it enough to pick them up. This one seems like a little bit of a smaller size, maybe only for a 6-inch or 6.5-inch wrist. But I figure, I don't know, someone can repurpose this and make it into a proper bracelet, I think, or just replace the watch with a larger watch and you'll be good. So I did like that. So there's those pieces. Here's just a little itty bitty. This is the kind of stuff that I buy that pretty much everyone's going to walk past because they don't want to pay so much money for such a little piece. $24, David Anderson. I got this for 20. I know the people who were selling this. But yeah, just a little David Anderson butterfly. These can be really expensive, even the little baby ones. And it's in blue, which I thought was a really good color. Again, not the greatest price in the world, but you're not going to find it really much cheaper. I mean, if you get it for 10 or 15, you know, that's good too. But these go from like $30 to $40. So I'll make a little bit of money on it. And it's really easy to ship. And yeah, the bigger ones go for a lot of money. Really nice little David Anderson piece. A lot of Norway today. So here's another little piece that I just couldn't pass up. Just a little green chicks here with enamel. Just really like that as soon as I saw it. And it's marked, I believe it's Mika, Sterling, and Denmark. And so I picked that up. That was also $20. Again, a lot of people don't pay that kind of money for these, but I will because I really love really detailed, tiny things. It's just nice because you can have 100 of them and it fits in your pocket, you know. So really like that piece. Just really cute piece there. And I think I've seen these before. They don't sell for a whole lot, but it's a really nice piece. This I got off of one of my dealer friends. He gave me a good deal on this. It's really interesting how sometimes you go around for cuff bracelets and you ask how much and they're like 125 or 200 or 300 or whatever. And then I went around and asked for this one, and he said $45. So, you know, for a cuff bracelet, pretty much any silver cuff bracelet's gonna be around $40 to $60 or more. So, I just really like the design on this one. It has no markings, but I just feel like I've seen this before. So, I'll try and figure out who made this. Because I feel like I've seen this design before. I don't know if I'm getting more of a Taxco vibe from it, or if I'm getting a Norwegian or a, you know, Danish vibe from it. I'm not really sure, but good size and good weight. Anything silver at the flea market, people are going to charge a lot for. So I did buy that piece. We can move on to this one. Trying to get some of the like more non-jewelry stuff out of the way, but here's a really nice iridescent glass vase, and I just saw this in the case of the lady. I was walking by and I was just like, oh, that's a nice vase. And you see these a lot. I kind of knew what it was right away, and I just asked how much, and she was like $20, and I'm like, okay, like I'll take it. Just right away I figured it would have some kind of damage, and it does. It has like a little tiny flea bite chip on it, like right here. Right there, there's a little flea bite on it, which is not bad. This piece is about 100 years old, and this is in the like Lowitz, Tiffany, Kralik, early 1900s, like bohemian glassmaker thing to it, where it's got this old like kind of Coke bottle look to it, and then you can ping it, and it's just got a real high ping. So yeah, just for $20, I really like this piece. No signature on the bottom. It'd be worth a lot if it was signed, but you see these all the time. It's at 100, 200, 75. I mean, usually bigger ones, but they're usually really expensive. So I figured I may keep this just because I really do like it, but I also might sell it. I think it would go for like $60 to $70 in this condition, so on a good day, hopefully. So I bought that piece. Let's see. I got these 3 pens from another dealer friend of mine. This is the same lady that sold me the David Anderson Peacock piece, the Omega. I bought quite a few pieces off of her. Again, it's not cheap, but it's very fair on the pricing. So she had these cross pens. These are all actually cross Townsend pens, which I just bought a few cross Townsend pens in my video. I think 2 videos ago. I bought some cross Townsend pens I sold for quite a bit. But this is the ballpoint pen, the pencil, and the roller ball. Let me see. So rollerball, pencil, and ballpoint of the Sterling Cross Townsend set. And these need to be cleaned up a little bit, but the rollerball looks in really nice condition. The pencil has a little dent in it, which is not too bad. It's just a little bit. And the pencil is usually worth the least out of all of them, so not too worried about that. And then the ballpoint pen. So I paid 75, 75, and 125 for a total of $275, which is quite a bit, but I'll list the set, clean these up, get them really nice looking, and someone who collects the cross pens, which there are a lot of, will buy these just like the other ones. The other two Townsend pens I sold for $600, and I sold another one for $70. So I think I'll be just fine on these. Get them cleaned up, and we'll make some money hopefully on those. And from her also, I just bought a little 10 karat gold necklace. This was about 65 bucks, and I bought it mostly because I liked this little diamond pendant. So it's a little solitaire, probably 1/10 of a carat, I would say. Could be a 1/4 carat, but I think it's a 1/10. I just liked it, saw it in the case, could definitely tell when I looped it that it's a real diamond. Fairly included, I would say. I think it's probably like an I1 or something clarity. It's nothing insane, but yeah, I just like that. And some 10 karat gold, and then another little heart pendant. So we did a deal on that. We'll see how we do on that, or I might give it to my girlfriend, so we'll see. And then here's that big bolo tie. This was at a very cool sale that I may be going back to soon. They might be doing more jewelry. The sale was mostly not jewelry, and they just had a couple of pieces. And this just stood out to me as being really nice. It's a large, very large. This is like 3.5 by 3.5 or something like that. 3 by 3.5. Large sterling silver bolo tie, and it was marked. The original price on it was $750. I paid $315 for this, which is a lot, and a lot of people would say, why would you pay that much for it, or that's so much, or this or that, but, I don't care. It was marked at $350, and I got them down to $315. It's just such better quality, and bolo ties in general do really well for me, and I've sold some bolo ties for a lot of money that you just wouldn't think. I mean, little small ones can bring $200, $250, and then a really large one like this, it's called the Rainbow Man, and this is like a 5-row Rainbow Man, where typically you'll see them and they're smaller. They're like 3 rows or 2 rows, and they don't have quite as much detailing on it, and it's not so big. Even the one, so I found one completed of this that sold for $500. Even that one was a tiny bit smaller than this one. So I was happy. I could see some completed listings. Of course, I see people have them listed at $1,200, $1,500. Would be like the retail, at a shop. So really happy with that piece. Again, just Native American pieces that are really good quality, are really hard to find, that are in good condition. Alright, so the last few items we're going to talk about today, I bought from my buddy Zach. We did a deal about 2 weeks ago, and that went really well, and he bought a few more items from a lady who was looking to sell some of her mother's jewelry, and he got a really good deal on what he bought, and he spent a lot of money, so he wanted to get some of that money back out. He knows I love designer stuff. I think a lot of people are starting to recognize that if you want some money fast for high-end designer stuff, that you don't want to sit and wait, the long time for things to sell, and you just want to make some money and sell it to someone who appreciates it. I think a lot of people who sell to me like to watch my videos. They like to see it on my eBay store. They like to ask me how much I got for it when it sells. You know, it's just kind of part of that process of knowing, you know, what you sold went to a good place. And so we did a deal on these items. Total was $425, which is a lot of money for just a couple of pieces. But I think it was fair. You know, things can go either way. Things can sell fast. Things can take a long time to sell. I think for the both of us, it was a good deal. Love this white enamel necklace. Very dainty. So this is the kind of stuff that people won't pay that much money for, like other dealers or anything like that, because it's a small piece and it's enamel, and there seems to be this thing where small pieces people don't seem to think have as much value as the big pieces. And of course, I prefer getting really big statement pieces. I'm known for that, but the small pieces can be just as fine and just as nice as a large piece and can be worth a lot of money, even though it's just small and silver and it only weighs like 19 grams or something like that. It can still be worth a lot of money. And what I liked about these pieces was the condition. The condition is very, very good, near mint. From what I was told, basically the stuff was never worn. And you can tell because there is no edging to the enamel. There is no like scratches. Usually you would see some like kind of fine scratches that would kind of make it a little bit hazy almost. And this stuff just looks watery. I mean, it's just mint condition. So I bought this piece. This is by Arnie Nordli, is one of a Danish designer. And then this is a David Anderson charm, and then this is a David Anderson pendant. We weren't sure who the designer was on this initially, and I did some research and found out that it was David Anderson, and we kind of thought it was a charm, but it does have a pendant bail here, so it is a pendant, and then it's got an older David Anderson mark, so it's right here. So it doesn't say the normal DA mark. It's kind of like a hammer with these like lines on it. You really kind of have to look it up. But yeah, so these two nice David Anderson charms. These things can be worth a lot of money. This one's a little bit more common than this one. This one's older. And, you know, hopefully we do pretty well on that. This bracelet here is Dutch silver. This is a 0.833 silver. Really high quality, heavy, kind of chainmail link to it. So really nice design on this. And I think I got a pretty good deal on this as part of the total. But, you know, on average, I think it was a very fair price. It's got a lot of hallmarks on it that show that it was dated to, you know, before 1953, so this is a vintage piece as well. Put really high prices on these. I think I have like $60, $150, and $200 and like $250 or something like that on these, which is a pretty high price. You know, but I'm willing to sit on them and wait for a good deal. Just because they are very rare, very hard to find. And then the last piece that I bought from him was this one, which I think we both know right away that this was the best piece, and everybody in my store knows that this is the best piece. This piece, I'm just, you know, I really like this piece. Again, the condition on it is the main thing. It is mint, absolutely mint. I mean, nothing wrong with this. It's water on the enamel. This is by Willie Wineas, who was a designer for David Anderson. So it's not a David Anderson. It's marked David Anderson on the piece, but it's more of a Willie Wineas design. David Anderson sold a lot of different names under his brand. But yeah, so again, a small dainty necklace. I put $500 on this, which seems like like I'm just crazy. But the set, there was one set that was the necklace, the bracelet, and the earrings went for about $800. So just for the necklace, I put 500 on it. I'll take less, obviously, but this is one that it's just like you're gonna have to really step up the offer and really fight me for this piece because it's just very, very rare, very hard to find in good condition. Comes with the original box. I mean, it's just got everything going for it other than not being the set, and the set would be worth a lot of money. But yeah, we made a deal on these pieces, and I think he wanted to keep this, and it was just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna pay up for this piece and these pieces, which aren't worth as much, and then this piece, which is kind of a gamble, so we don't know this one's worth that much. So if we're gonna make a deal, this one has to be a part of the deal, and I think he kind of knew that this was gonna be the piece that I would want. And this one has gotten the most attention so far since I listed it. And it's a really high price. I mean, I think the bracelet by itself sold for about $250. So maybe this is worth more in the $300 to $350 range, which is probably right. But it's just so good a condition that I'm going to wait for a really good offer on this one. Really like that piece. So there's the deal I did with Zach with the enamel and silver pieces. And then the final piece here is this little guy. So, again, talking about little tiny things that are very detailed that are worth a lot of money. This is a piece that I bought off of another dealer who deals primarily in scrap, and I bought a few pieces from him before, and he just gets lots and lots of pieces. And this piece is I think it's 930 silver, but it's kind of like an off silver, so it's not sterling. So a lot of the dealers prefer to deal in sterling, but this piece is got a hallmark on it, and I saw this in the case right away because I know what these are, and I've sold them before. But there's the mark on the bottom, MH. And then the silver mark there, 930S. And once I saw this, I was like, oh boy, this is going to be an expensive piece. This marking is for Marius Hammer, which is a very famous Norwegian designer. And he's very well known for his work with this type of enamel. And I've talked about this on my channel before. This is called Plique jour, which means light of day. And this stuff can be very, very popular, typically found on old Russian items. And you've got some nice guilloche enamel in there as well. And it's just got this 2 horse head figure. So I paid $75 for this. I tried to get him down. I was trying to be like, oh, $60 or something. But he was like, I got to make some money on it. So I was like, all right, I'll take it. And the condition on it is not perfect, but not bad. I've definitely seen worse on these pieces and have had no problem selling them. Trying to find an example maybe of where there's some damage. I think there was some in here, so you can see like right there's a little bit of damage. One of these blue panels right here has a little bit of damage, but look at the detail on this piece. It's just awesome, and it's tiny, little tiny thing. I mean, so there is one sold recently, sold about a month ago for $1,600, and that's pretty crazy when I looked these up. I knew this was a good piece right away, and I showed this to another dealer friend of mine, and we're like, oh yeah, probably like $300, $350, like is going to be a good price. I didn't expect that much. There's one other one listed right now on eBay for $2,400, and there's 30 watchers on it. And I saw an auction record with another one sold for $1,750 50 Great British pounds, I believe. So this piece has some potential to be worth quite a bit of money. I would say it's based on what I can find research-wise now. This is going to be minimum $600. There is a little bit of condition problems with it, so that might hurt it a little bit. But if this thing goes for $1,500, I'm going to be really happy. This was a really good find here at the flea market, so I just kind of got lucky this time. And I knew what it was, and I knew it was expensive. I just didn't think it was that expensive. But it's I believe the reason why is because this designer, Marius Hammer, studied with Carl Fabergé, who, like I said before, the Russian people did a lot of this type of enamel work. So I think that's kind of where it gets a lot of its higher price. And this would have come in a set, so this is like an open salt, and I think it would have come with like 2 of them. But yeah, these are really expensive and are typically like, you would see this in a book or like in a museum or something like that. So yeah, if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.